So we're hearing some great stories about lean startup. I'm here to tell you about a failed business and how the failures from that business are now integrated into my experience. I started a company that was meant to address two issues. One was a growing interest among businesses in addressing issues of global climate change. It was the inconvenient truth era, and there was a lot of interest, we thought, possibly even carbon legislation. The second problem we were going to address was some serious failures in energy markets. This is an example of how information flows in energy markets. It's a mess. Customers don't really know what they pay or why they pay what they pay. So two partners and I founded a company called Juice Energy. We were going to create a virtual utility that provided a lot of the same functions of a utility, but was much more customer-centric, transparent. We were going to provide electricity and green power. It was 2006. The funding environment was great. So we raised money and spent time actually initially just building the information infrastructure for that business. So we built some pretty complex information systems initially. Didn't talk to a single customer, but built the systems. Great. So then we got out into the marketplace, started talking to clients, and we realized quite quickly that what they valued was the information that we were providing. So they got the electricity, they paid for the electricity, but what they loved was the transparency and the information that we were providing. It was a very linear process building this business. This was our customer feedback loop. We made the mistake of not taking that information and integrating it into our product. We went full steam ahead building this national scaled utility. Lesson number one, integrate feedback. Feedback loops are key. When you get client feedback into products, you get a better product. And this would prove problematic later on. The company ticked along. It was the summer of 2008. We had a $100 million revenue business, so we were doing some things right. But in order to scale to a national business, we needed a credit and working capital facility to enable that growth. We needed to go to a bank to fund that. We signed an agreement in the summer of 2008 with the bank. It was going to allow us to scale for the next 5 years. In fact, it only lasted 5 weeks because our banker was Lehman Brothers. So pretty quickly, they were auctioning their signage, and we were left without a credit provider. We had little to no time to pivot. We were basically sinking fast. You can see me, I'm out on the bow looking for some sort of a lifeboat. We didn't have the ability to reorient the product or change our market approach. So we basically had to close the business in very short order. So we didn't keep our optionality. We didn't identify other opportunities during that initial startup process. Now, we did do some things right. The vision was right. The opportunity was good. There were all of these failures that we found. And we actually focused pretty well and effectively on customers. We got out of the building. We were honest. We were transparent with them. And we built up a lot of goodwill among our clients. So when we basically called them with very little notice and said, we can no longer provide you with any service, they were remarkably supportive. Customer building can help you. Client building can help you when you're building a business and when you're closing it. And so what we found was we really learned the value of our product and service at the very last day of the business. And customers said, come back and let us know when you're back in the market. So as you all know, these learnings, these failures, aren't really helpful unless you can validate them. Luckily, we now are back in business. We've benefited from the serious reductions in startup costs, so we haven't raised a penny, but we've gone back to the drawing board, validated our assumptions, got more client feedback. We've built a minimum viable product that is now an information business, no longer a utility, no electrons are flowing, and we've gotten a very positive feedback from our initial client base. It's working well, the strategy is good, and we've got a much better, leaner process in place. So we're all very confident now that this story will end differently. Thank you very much.